with ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. We'll stop here, inshallah. Any question? This is true attribute of Allah. Well, that's the interpretation that they give to it. Now, there's type of interpretation that can be, for example, in this, you say, is Allah's power. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the power to do that. The problem in the interpretation, when you restrict this attribute to this only meaning. For example, say the yet, it has, for example, if it has, for example, one of the understanding of the yet of Allah, it can reflect the power, for example. So you can say that, but you cannot specify yet is power. That's the interpretation. So we restricted an infinite to one meaning according to someone's understanding. But if you can say it reflects the power, it reflects this and this and this, as someone he's complimenting Allah, he's praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will be accepted. But to specify and restrict it to one meaning, and you make like the interpretation of the hand is the power, that's the problem. Because when you put it in another ayah, it doesn't work. And in the other thing, Allah's attributes are absolute and infinite as the being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it cannot be restricted to one meaning. So it's like the infinite, you reduce it to something that is restricted. And that's in itself is ilhad. That is in itself definition. So,
how about the one, the ayah where Allah says that He's closer to you than your jugular vein?
yeah. So that's the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His knowledge. Or there's things in the Quran that are impossible to be understood in the way that being said. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He's closer to us than our jugular vein, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala above His creation and distance from His creation, it cannot be like united with His creation to be closer to us than the jugular vein. Therefore, the understanding that His closeness is with His knowledge, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He had the power, subhanahu wa ta'ala, because everything in this universe is fashioned by the hawl and the quwwah of Allah. Right? Everything, la hawla wa la quwwata, is like everything by the will of Allah. So, when someone think of the dimension of His knowledge, of His power, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is closer to you than the jugular vein. If he's a believer, it gives him more power of strengthening of iman and power of trust. If a disbeliever is going to be, reprimanding him, like Allah has power over you, because He's closer to you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power to do anything He will. So if you bring, the many soldiers that you can bring to protect you from Allah, you cannot, because He's already closer to you than your own self. Actually, this ayah is used by some al-Hululiyin. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier nothing resembles the law. And I remember when I became Muslim almost 40 years ago, I remember when I used to pray, I used to have an image in my mind. I mean, most of you who are born Muslim, raised Muslim, you probably never had this problem. So when I came to Islam in 1975, and I started understanding the law, the surah that helped me was Kuhul Allah Hud. And I had to work on removing this European things that were placed in my mind as the one to worship. And alhamdulillah, of course now I don't have that problem. But for many of us who reverts, when we come to Islam, we have this problem because we have an image in our mind because all through Christianity is laced with there's an image. And so when we pray, we have an image in our mind of this human being that's all powerful, all knowing, everything, which is false. But when we became Muslim, alhamdulillah, that was filtered out. That was a great thing from Allah.
Alhamdulillah, that's the way of the submission, because the submission takes time, alhamdulillah. And, this is maybe one of the aspects, like the brother is sharing with us, is to also to take it in consideration for the reverts, or for those who follow on the internet, the question of the brother or the comment, like when someone comes new to Islam, subhanAllah, when you offer prayer, he has this image in his mind. But with knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, someone will help himself till he'll dissipate and he take away this image to become like worshipping the being that he can see with his own heart. Yeah. No.
What is the difference between basic and مثله شيء and ولم يكن له كفوا أحد?
And what?
ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
No. No.
And basic مثله شيء, is there a slight difference?
If you read the translation, because ليس كمثله شيء, كفوا is like it doesn't have anyone mid equal. وليس كمثله شيء in the resemblance. In the resemblance, no one compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this, I remember in the beautiful hadith, if I remember his hadith, so it's narrated, wallahu a'lam, in the athar, but it's saying, everything you think of Allah, no, Allah is the opposite. Subhanallah. And this is a powerful in a way that whatever imagination, whatever thing that someone can imagine, God is fully opposite to that. So, ليس كمثله شيء. ليس كمثله شيء.
The definition just sounds the same.
But,
In English translation.
no, the kufu is like someone who's like equal. So equal, not ليس كمثله. So the equal into the power, the equal as being God. So there is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when you come, people, for example, say, he believes that Allah is one. But what does Allah looks like? That's ليس كمثله شيء. If someone will believe that there's more than God, say ليس له كفوا أحد, no one can be equal. So everyone needs to be marbub. Everyone needs to be servant to him. Well, the hadith, right? I have to go. We delay the hadith next time? So we'll do more hadith than aqidah next time. So I remind everyone that we'll be leaving at 8 and those vote by majority. Right? Any other question? We still have time. You want to leave now? Huh? You have a question?
Make an announcement.
I tell you, make it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just want to make one quick announcement. Tomorrow there's going to be an event, inshallah. It's called Ramadan 360. It's all hosted by volunteers of the FYFC, and it's also sponsored by Crescent Moon. So inshallah tomorrow there's going to be between 2 till 7 o'clock. and it's going to be basically in preparation for Ramadan. It's going to be Sheikh Yusha Evans, Sheikh Faraz, and Brother Ilyas. So tomorrow, inshallah, it's going to be here at the small gym. Anybody who wants to join us is more than welcome. $2 per person and $10 per family. All family members, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Any other question? No question? You voted for 8. So. You voted for 8, so you leave only at 8, inshallah. No question? Huh? Sorry.
I have mentioned to you before, a lot of people here, a lot of brothers and sisters here are young, and we have a big responsibility to carry the message to those who don't have the message. Many of us go to school, high school, colleges, universities, workplace, and we are interacting with non-Muslims on a daily basis, but we're not stepping up to the dawah. And dawah can be just your character, your sin, you pray, watch your manners, particularly when you get angry, how you handle your anger, and things like this. And I think this class here, it's increasing us in knowledge, but I just hope that the people that like I'm from here, I'm from New York, but most people here are from other parts of the world, and they live in this country. I'm just hoping that this class will help them to be able to dialogue more, because the people are suffering outside, African American people, Caucasian people, all people, and I'm 61, and I've been trying to dialogue for over 30 years, and it's not an easy task, and so I'm just hoping that the people in this class, someone will step up and give more dialogue in this country, so that people will have more understanding of Islam. And you're giving us the knowledge and it's applied, because what I see, we take the knowledge, we get the knowledge, and we just keep among ourselves, our groups. But that's not what the knowledge is for. When I get whatever you give me, whatever you give me, I go out and practice it on a non-Muslim. Immediately. I said, you say something to me, I can use this. So that's why I do that. I'm on a mission to help me to give God, not for me to hold and become holy and pious and don't give effort to no one. So I just needed to say that.
Jazakallah khair. Anyone want to comment on this?
Well, you need to do a da'wah team, inshallah.
Yeah.
He has his own da'wah team.
Well, we thank you, for giving us the knowledge.
I thank you, all of you, mashallah, to give me this opportunity to myself learn. طيب. If you don't have anything, we'll go to the hadith. No. What's the meaning of hadith al-mu'allaqa? Just small definition, the rejected hadith. It rejected from two, there's two things that make the hadith to be rejected. What are these two things? What the thing that is, affect the hadith so it will be rejected? The first one is change. So what they call it, إما أن يكون لسقط أو طعن. سقط أو طعن. So here the chain, what happened? What the problem that can happen to the chain?
The chain could be weak. One of the narrators could
there's no connection. Saqtan, so we have one or more that dropped from the chain of narration, right? Because the condition of the Sahih to have be connected and known. If we have one, we don't know in the chain. Like in the narration of the Shia, you know the Shia, they have different books of hadith. Do you know this? They don't accept the hadith what we have. They understand. The Shia, they have different books of hadith. But in their chain of narration, and this is true, in the chain of narration it said, so-and-so, narrated that someone in the market, according to his donkey, according to someone else, and you go to the hadith. So we find in the chain of narration, majhul, ignorant, and a donkey. I don't know how he talks. But this is in their books of hadith. So the chain of narration in those books, they have, فإذا سقط in the chain of narration, so we have majhul, and majhul al-hal, we don't know who this person. So how can you trust the hadith if you don't know the person? And the other one, at-ta'nu. What it means, at-ta'nu? Huh? I'm sorry? The narrator. So we have a problem with the narrator. See, is the narrator kadhub, is a liar. So the hadith is rejected. So in this, for example, the narrator, what type of knowledge needed to check the narrators? What this knowledge or this discipline that the Ahlul Hadith, they write on it to check the narrator, what is called? Al-Jarh wa-Ta'dil. Al-Jarh is like surgery. Al-Ta'dil, correct. So they take all the narrator and they go in depth studying them to give you the grading for the narrator. What Ta'dil, it might be narrator that they've been said wrong thing about it. So they go dig. If it's really is not like, because for example, people deviated, and there's actually the Shia, they say Abu Huraira, he's not accepted, and they decline all the hadith of Abu Huraira. They say Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, you know what they say, so they don't accept any of the hadith of Sayyidah Aisha. The same thing for other narrators, there's people they know, so that Imam, he's known, so they want to say bad thing about that person for his hadith to not accept it. So to hurt the sunnah, instead of talking about the hadith, they talk about the narrator. So the ta'dil comes, the scholar of the ta'dil comes, and they cleanse all what has been said. They say, no, this one, he's thiqa. So then go back to his ahadith and accept them. Why? Because he wasn't as being said, he's good. طيب, we'll stop here inshallah. جزاكم الله خير وبارك الله فيكم. See you next time inshallah.